Hey there, drone fans. Today I'm out for my very first flight with the brand new DJI Neo drone. Now to get ready for this flight, I have the drone set up right over here. I have the new RCN3 controller right here. I've already downloaded the latest firmware to the controller and the latest firmware on the drone, and I've synced the two together. But remember, you can fly the drone in one of three ways. You can fly it as what I'll call a selfie drone, where you don't need a controller. You can hold the drone in your hand, turn it on, pick one of the predetermined flight patterns, hit a button, and have the drone execute that pattern, come back and land right in your hand. And that's great for vacation. But you can also fly it as a conventional drone by using a controller, and that's the way I'm used to flying most of my drones. You also have the added benefit of flying it like an FPV drone by using the DJI goggles and their gyroscopic controller. So you can choose whatever flight mode you feel more comfortable with, but I like the fact that I'm essentially getting 3 drones in one that I can use in a bunch of different scenarios. Anyway, let's get to the testing. So I'm ready to fly. I've cleared the area. There's nothing near me obstruction-wise. I'm not near an airport, and I just can't wait to get this drone up in the air because the drone itself is small, which means it's light, and it worries me a little bit that I've got a really stiff wind out here today, so I've got water to the right of me, so I'm thinking I'm gonna take it easy, make sure that I've got good control of the drone, then we'll send it out a little bit to see how it does with that wind. All right. So the drone's ready, I'm ready. I'll pull the 2 joysticks down into the center and the props spin up. Let me start the recording and I'm ready to go. And this is always my favorite part of testing a drone. Here we go. Okay, the drone's up. All right, now I haven't flown it yet at all. I charged the batteries and haven't flown it. Now let's listen to it. You can hear it's a lot louder. It's a little higher whine than most drones, and the reason for that is you have really small propellers and they've got to spin really fast to keep that drone up in the air and keep it elevated. And you can see how much the wind is buffeting that drone, but I think it's doing a really good job of staying in place. That's amazing. That's pretty cool. All right, so let's get some footage here. I'm gonna send it out this way, but before I do, I always like to try the sticks to make sure that it's responsive and get a feel for the drone, because every drone has a personality and it takes a little while for me to get comfortable with the drone. So let's see. Elevate, descend, forward, back. It's really responsive. Let's see, left and right. Yeah, I like that a lot. Okay, so I trust the drone. Let me do a little quick circle here. All right, not bad. All right, I'm gonna send it down here on the shore. Let's see what happens. All right, I'm gonna try and split the trees there, and away we go. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, what a beautiful shot. Now this drone can record 1080p at 60 frames a second, or it can record 4K at 30 frames a second. Now you can't see it, but that drone is moving back. It's moving a little bit because of the wind down there on the beach. And you can see the waves rolling in. This is a big lake. Let me spin it the other way to give you a view down the beach. Boy, that video is tremendous. That is really good for a small drone like this. And I still can't get over the fact that DJI was able to pack all of this technology into a 135-gram drone that really is the size of a Hershey bar. No, not a Hershey bar. You can tell I eat a lot of candy. A Milky Way bar. It's a tiny little candy bar. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna bring it back because it's really windy and I just don't want to have any issues or surprises on the way back. So let's see here. Come on back. There you go. Nice job. All right, let me show you the landing. This is kind of cool. So even if you're flying with a controller, you can still land it in your hand. You just have to bring it in. You have to be facing the drone. Just like that, so it sees me. Put your hand underneath it like this, and it lands and stops the propellers. So even if you're using a controller, you can still land it in your hand, and then you can take off again from your hand in selfie mode and have it fly around you to do a droney or a rocket or a circle or a helix, all of the patterns that most of the DJI drones offer. Now, if you stay tuned next, what I'm gonna do is fly this a lot. I'm out here in some beautiful areas. I've got a lot of water, I've got a lot of forest, got a lot of trees, so I'll fly this an awful lot, put a short montage together, probably do it at 1080p at 60 frames a second to give you some idea of what the footage looks like. And then I'll come back with a few final thoughts after I've had a chance to fly this brand new DJI Neo a little bit. So stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed those video samples and that you're as impressed as I am with the brand new DJI Neo drone, because a drone this small should not be that stable in the air. It's lightweight, it doesn't have a lot of mass, and it should be moving all over the place with the wind that's blowing across this lake behind me. And that was my biggest fear, is that I'd fly it out over the water, a big breeze would come along, and it would head for the horizon. But it stayed right where I left it. So somehow DJI's figured out how to stabilize the drone in flight and how to stabilize the footage I'm recording from the drone, which makes it a really nice product. And they fit all of that technology into an airframe that's about the size of a candy bar with 4 propellers stuck on the outside. But they didn't stop there. They built in recording capabilities where I can record 4K footage at up to 30 frames a second and 1080p footage up to 60 frames a second. They built in return to home functionality, so if the drone starts misbehaving, it's going to lift up to a height you've set in the application and return to your takeoff point. And they've built in all kinds of autonomous modes where I can hit a button, put it in my hand like this, and have it fly away and capture some incredible footage when I'm on vacation. And again, they built all of that into a drone that I can essentially fit in my pocket. I also like the fact that it's really 3 drones in one. I can fly this without a controller, just by putting it in my hand, picking a selection for where I want it to fly, and letting it fly, and then have it come back and land in my hand. I can also fly it with a controller, and I can even fly it as an FPV drone if I have the goggles and the gyroscopic controller. So it really is everything I need in a drone. And for me, it's a great travel drone because it records footage at a resolution that I use a lot in my videos. So I think it's a great drone, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks very much for watching.